For March Madness 2022, I am partnering with BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook. Using the link in the description, you can get a 125% sign-up bonus using the promo code JOIN125. A $100 minimum deposit is necessary. Get in on the action on this NCAA tournament and March Madness season and any other sport in general, and make some money. Get in on the action with BetUS. Before we get started with this video, I want to let you guys know about my Discord server. We're talking college basketball live games, just college basketball in general, bracketology, Q&As, all that stuff. Hit the link in the description to join the Super Celtic 24 Discord server. Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to the 2022 Big East Conference Tournament Predictions video. This one is coming out super late. I mean, the first game between Xavier and Butler, I believe, starts at like 4:30 today. But I am recording this video starting now at 9:52 a.m. So that way you guys know that I'm not I'm not making my predictions after the first games I've been playing. I don't know how this Big East, I thought I had made this video back on like Monday, but obviously I haven't. I'm making it today on Wednesday, a few hours before the actual tournament, so hopefully we can get some good predictions in here. Should be very interesting to see how these predictions end up turning out. But before we take a look at the bracket, I want to mention the NCAA tournament ticket giveaway that I am doing. If we hit 7,777 subscribers by March 13th, which is Selection Sunday, and hey, I'll run it through the end of Selection Sunday, not just through like the time that the actual selection show happens, because that way, once I make my actual tournament predictions video, we'll get some more viewers in there that may subscribe, so that way I'll help you guys out. But if we hit 7,777 subscribers, I will be giving away a first round NCAA tournament ticket. I've done this the past couple of years. All you got to do to enter is subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications on, take a screenshot, send it over to @AlexPrice24 on Instagram, and that's all you got to do. I'll send you a confirmation message. More details are in the description below on how to enter. I mean, heck, over the last couple of days, we were at like 7,330, I think, in the last tournament predictions video. Now we're at 7,410, so we're making some progress. Here in the next 4 days, I'm sure we can make even more. But now taking a look back at the bracket, this has been a pretty interesting Big East season. I mean, really all of these teams, the Big East, they're probably going to have more tournament teams this year than the ACC, than the Pac-12, the American, a lot of these kind of bigger name conferences. Actually, I don't know if you want to say that the Big East is smaller than the American. I should probably take that back. But the biggest news is that Providence ended up as the 1 seed. I don't know if this is their first regular season title in their history. I doubt it's in their history. But it's been a long time since Providence has won the regular season Big East Championship. I know that for a fact. So congratulations to the Friars. They're projected to be like a 3 or 4 seed in the tournament, kind of depending on which way you look at it. The 2 seed is Villanova, the usual power in this conference. With Colin Gillespie, I think that this team is a national championship contending team. Actually, probably not national championship contending team, probably more like Elite 8, Final 4, that kind of range. The 3 seed is Connecticut, having a huge year with Bobby Hurley here. I think that, or maybe it's Dan Hurley. I don't remember, one of the Hurleys. But Connecticut has been a surprise team this year. I don't think really anybody was expecting them to compete as they have been, but now they're projected as a 4 or 5 seed in the actual NCAA tournament, so congratulations to the Huskies. They know how to make runs in postseason tournaments. We've seen them win 2 national championships in the last 11 years, back in 2011 and then in 2014, so you never know what Connecticut can do. 4 seed is Creighton. Now, they did lose Nembhard for, I believe, the season, so that's something you got to keep in mind there, but Creighton having a really good season as well. Marquette, one of my favorite teams throughout the course of the year. I think Shaka Smart's doing a great job with that program, ending up as a 5 seed there. The 6 seed is Seton Hall. They are looking pretty safe as well. They're showing up as like an 8 or 9 seed in most of the brackets, in the mock brackets and stuff. 7 seed is St. John's. They're nowhere near the bracket, so they're probably going to have to beat Villanova and then probably UConn, and maybe even have to win the entire thing. But, I mean, heck, if you win your conference tournament, that's all you got to do. You don't got to worry about at-large bids or anything like that. Xavier is a team as the 8 seed that has been falling. I was not sold on them. You can go back to like my December and January bracketologies. I was not a fan of Xavier. I had them losing in the first round pretty much every time. And I mean, it's panned out pretty well. They're showing up as a last 4 in team for a lot of brackets, maybe maybe last 4 byes, that kind of area, around like the 4th or 5th team safe. But bid thieves could make some noise here, especially if Xavier loses to Butler tonight, which you'll be able to see what I think of that game here in a couple of minutes. Then the 10 seed is Depaul. They've been loving to play spoiler on a lot of teams. Depaul's not really anywhere close to the tournament, but if they can make some noise here and upset some teams, they could make something happen. You never know. And then the last seed, Georgetown, having an absolutely awful year, but they gave a vote of confidence to Patrick Ewing as their coach. It will be very interesting to see kind of how he does into the future. Georgetown they won the conference. They won this conference tournament last year. I don't know why I started with that. I didn't start with that. Georgetown went from nowhere close to the tournament. They made a huge run last year and won the whole thing. That maybe that'll happen again this year. They ended up losing to Colorado, I believe, in the first round last year. But Georgetown, keep your eye on it. Maybe they'll make a run. Probably not. They're like 6-20 this year or something like that. But you never know. That's the point of these brackets. And speaking of bracket, let's go ahead and make my predictions for this Big East Conference Tournament 2022. Let's kick this thing off with those first round matchups. Up first, we'll start with Xavier and Butler. As much as Butler's another team, I don't think I really talked about them. Butler has been playing spoiler a lot. They were in the projected field, I think, to start the season, but I think they're like 14-14, somewhere around that record range this year. They're going to have to pretty much win the conference tournament in order to make the NCAA tournament. But I don't see that actually happening because I have Xavier here moving on to the quarterfinal round. They will beat Butler there. It's going to be an interesting game. I think Butler does have a good chance of winning, but I think that Xavier is the better team. They're playing for their tournament lives because if they lose that game, honestly don't even think they make the actual NCAA tournament just based off of how they finished their season out. Seton Hall and Georgetown, I think this one's pretty obvious. I don't see a world in which Georgetown ends up beating Seton Hall there. I got the Pirates advancing on to the quarterfinal round. Up next, we have St. John's versus Depaul. This one I've been flip-flopping back and forth. I think St. John's is like a 5-point favorite, 4-point favorite, something like that, according to the sports books. But speaking of sports, go check out BetUS. Go ahead and get in on that action there. But St. John's versus Depaul, I'm actually going to go with an upset here. I am going to go with the Blue Demons of Depaul. I think they can make some noise over the Red Storm of St. John's. I think that St. John's could make a run through the tournament, but Depaul, I think that they've been able to beat a couple of these top teams throughout the year. I think that they can make some noise and advance on to the quarterfinal round there, which sets up a quarterfinal round matchup of Providence versus Xavier. I think that Providence is going to handle Xavier. They had a crazy game. Back when I was at the Kentucky-LSU game, I was kind of following along on my phone. They had a 3-overtime game. Providence ended up winning, but that game was absolutely crazy. One of the games of the year. I think that Providence will end up moving on there. Creighton and Marquette, I am going to go with 5-seed Marquette. They have a lot of talent this year. I think they can get the job done. I think ESPN even had Marquette going through this entire tournament and winning the whole thing. I don't know if I'll go that far. We'll see kind of here in the next couple of minutes how far I have Marquette going, but I do think that they will be able to beat Creighton there. Seton Hall and Connecticut, as much as I want to pick Seton Hall to advance right there, I can't do it. I got to have Connecticut. They've just been playing too consistently over the past couple of weeks, even months if you want to say that. I think Connecticut will move on there, and they will face Villanova. I think that one's pretty obvious. I got Villanova advancing to the Big East semifinals, which sets up 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, and 5 seed. So kind of chalky, I want to say. I don't even know what that is right there that just popped up. But we have Providence versus Marquette here for a spot in the conference finals. I am going to go with the Friars of Providence. As much as I wanted to pick Marquette there, I do think Marquette has a really strong chance to win. I got to go with the team that's being showed up. I think they've only lost like 4 games this year. The Friars winning their first regular season title in a long time. I got the Friars advancing on there. And then Connecticut versus Villanova. These two teams just played a couple of weeks ago. Connecticut was able to squeak out the win at home over Villanova, but I just don't think that's going to happen here in the tournament. I got Villanova advancing on, which sets up kind of a chalky final here between Providence and Villanova. I will admit the 1 versus 2 seeds. But if you check out the rest of my conference tournament predictions video, which, heck, the Missouri Valley Conference, I was 100% correct on that. I had a 4 seed beating a 3 seed. But here in this Big East tournament, that's just how I see it playing out. I think that Providence and Villanova are the 2 best teams. I think they'll have a rematch here in the actual Big East final. I think that, who do I want to pick to win? I am going to go with the 2 seed Villanova Wildcats. I know that's not an exciting pick. I know Villanova's kind of been dominating this league for the last decade or so. I have Villanova winning, I think, Jay Wright and this team, with Colin Gillespie, one of the Player of the Year contenders, leading the charge. I do think they'll beat Providence. That's nothing against Providence at all. I think Providence can make a run in the NCAA tournament, but I just don't see it happening here in the Big East tournament winning. I got the Villanova Wildcats. So, thank you guys for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of my predictions in the comments section below. Let me know your own predictions in the comments section as well. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all later.